Once upon a time, in a small town nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling river, lived a young boy named Max. Max was a curious and adventurous child who loved exploring the world around him. His favorite place in the whole town was the old bookstore run by Mrs. Maple. It was a cozy little shop filled with books of all shapes and sizes, from ancient tales to brand new adventures. One rainy afternoon, Max visited Mrs. Maple's bookstore. As he perused the shelves, a glimmer caught his eye. It was a dusty, old umbrella standing in the corner. It looked ordinary, but there was something about it that drew Max in. He decided to buy it with his allowance. As he walked home with his new umbrella, the rain began to pour. Max opened it up to shield himself, and to his astonishment, the umbrella lifted him off the ground. He floated above the wet streets, holding onto the magical umbrella for dear life. Max couldn't believe his eyes. He soared above the town, watching the rooftops and streets from a bird's-eye view. The umbrella seemed to have a mind of its own, taking him wherever he wished to go. He directed it toward the nearby forest, and they flew through the trees. Max laughed with delight as he saw birds and squirrels eyeing him in surprise. The umbrella carried him to the top of a giant oak tree, where he sat perched like a king of the forest, feeling the cool rain on his face. As the day turned to evening, Max decided it was time to go home. He asked the umbrella to take him back, and it gently descended to the ground. Max folded it up and headed home, filled with excitement about his newfound discovery. Max soon realized that the umbrella had more magical abilities than he first thought. Whenever he opened it, it could take him to any place he could imagine. He visited far-off lands, flew over majestic mountains, and even explored the depths of the ocean. The umbrella was his ticket to adventure, and he used it to learn about the world in ways he had never imagined. One day, Max decided to use the umbrella to help others. He heard about a little girl named Mia who was sick and couldn't leave her house. Max knew Mia loved the idea of flying, so he decided to give her a magical experience. With his umbrella in hand, he gently knocked on Mia's window. Mia's eyes widened with amazement as she saw Max floating outside her window. He invited her to hold onto the umbrella, and together they soared through the sky, feeling the wind in their hair and the thrill of adventure in their hearts. For a while, Mia forgot all about her illness as she laughed and played in the clouds. Word of Max's magical umbrella began to spread throughout the town. People started coming to him with their own wishes and dreams. He took elderly Mrs. Johnson to visit her childhood home, which she hadn't seen in years. He helped Mr. Patel see the Taj Mahal, a place he had always dreamed of visiting. Max's magical umbrella brought happiness and wonder to everyone he met. But one day, as Max was exploring a dense forest far from home, he encountered a problem. A sudden gust of wind caught the umbrella, and it flew out of his hand, disappearing into the treetops. Max felt a pang of sadness as he realized he had lost his magical friend. He searched high and low, but the umbrella was nowhere to be found. Max returned home with a heavy heart, missing the adventures he had shared with his magical companion. Months passed, and Max never gave up hope. Then, one sunny day, as he was walking through the town square, he noticed something familiar in the window of an antique shop. It was his magical umbrella, on display for all to see. Max rushed into the shop and told the owner the incredible story of the umbrella's magic. The owner, touched by Max's tale, decided to return it to him as a gift. Max was overjoyed to have his friend back. From that day forward, Max continued to use the magical umbrella to bring happiness and wonder to the people of his town. He learned that the real magic was not in the umbrella itself, but in the kindness and joy he shared with others. And so, the boy who once longed for adventure found that the greatest adventure of all was the ability to make dreams come true for those he loved. With his magical umbrella by his side, Max knew that every day held the promise of a new and exciting adventure, and he couldn't wait to see where it would take him next. And the story comes to an end here, dear children. We hope you enjoyed this tale. Now gently close your eyes and drift into the enchanting world of your dreams. Good night, sweet dreams. We look forward to seeing you again in the next story.